Okay, so this is one of my few I'm not worthy Wayne's World type thing of this particular saxophone. This is a gorgeous King Super 20. This is made in the Cleveland factory, which is much more popular than the later Eastlake ones. So really, really nice condition. Look at the lacquer. Look at the engraving. Serial number is 297 plus change with dates. I think pretty much is like around 1948. I mean, right in that high era of just wonderful, wonderful craftsmanship. Brand new overhaul on it. Some famous sax shop, I can't remember, I think it was actually called the Sax Shop, did it. You can see the pads are brand new. Nice big metal resonators in there. Bell's perfect. So they made a million permutations of this. Anyhow, made it all brass. Then brass with not a silver plated, but a sterling silver neck. And every one of these I've seen, you got big marks where it's been pooched down and pulled down and messed with. So nice original sterling silver neck. Then they made it with the sterling silver neck and the sterling silver bell. And that was the Silver Sonic, they called it. Then you had the option of, like, you know, do you want a radiator? You know, do you want a radio? Do you want a heater? Do you want air conditioning in your car in the 60s and the 50s? The pearls. So every key touch is overlaid with mother of pearl, and they just feel beautiful, and they just look, again, stunning. So every key touch, mother of pearl, which is really, really great. Then they made it sterling silver neck, sterling silver bell with the pearls, and then the logo is overlaid in gold plate, which is like the tops of the tops. I haven't even ever seen one in person. But I've seen a lot of newer models from the Eastlake factory, which are nice, but nothing compares to this. I mean, the stuff they were using back then and the workmanship back then was just unprecedented. So anyhow, again, bell keys model off the bell, which again I think is just the most wonderful idea. That bell can get whacked any direction and it's still going to play just fine as long as that linkage is still engaged playing that. So even engraving on the bell keys, you can see they're engraved, and on the lower keys, engraving on the keys. I mean, that's all hand done. So just crazy amount of high quality workmanship. So again, really nice guards. I needed a guard for one. There's a guy in Europe making the guards for like $40 each, and it's easier to buy like a Cleveland or something that uses the same guard. So anyhow, just in really, really nice shape. It's even got a pearl on the thumb key, which is nice, the octave key. So anyhow, lacquer's probably 90% plus. It looks like it's had signs of a little dent work down here, and of course just a little wear around the thumb rest, some minor scratches around the strap loop, of course, but up and down the side of the bell is usually obliterated with scratches, and this one is actually really, really nice. It's usually worn right through. Nice big heavy guard on here. So now the big thing, I mean, one of the biggest low B flats I've ever heard. So one of my benchmarks, especially for the tenor saxophones, the second octave D always seems to be stuffy. I had one where you played that low D, excuse me, second octave D, it sounded like somebody threw a rabbit down the bell. It's just completely different timbre, completely different volume. So this one goes. So it's got a big voiced second octave D on it, which, I mean, this is like one of the rock and roll history saxophone. So again, subtoning right down to that low B flat. anything you throw at it. You can be nasty, nasty loud, or Stan Getzy soft on it. The original case is in actually great shape. If you go to my webpage, www.stevegraysaxes, that's STVEGRAY, saxes.com, you can see the case is in really, really nice shape, the original case. And it's crazy, I got a 2B trombone in right after this with exactly the same case from the same era. And again, the 2B was one of the most famous jazz trombones ever made. So, again, the case is wonderful, the horn's wonderful. And some of these guys, I know they're just either got too many horns or they're just getting to the age where they say, it should be played instead of being underneath my bed. So there it is, King Super 20. So we're going to play. I have actually got a request, and I said, I'm going, can't find songs that I like to play anymore. So we're just going to do a little quick thing and play this old, ballad standard. I love the ballads because you can hear the horn instead of a million notes. Oh, excuse me. So anyhow, that's all. I'm blown out. So just a rockin' saxophone. I call some saxophones players saxophones, and some are players / collector saxophone. And this is I mean, just one mark off of collectability. I mean, just a couple little scuffs on it, but really hard to find anything cleaner than this from this particular era. I mean, every set screw, I don't know if you can see here, has a lock nut on it. So when you adjust it, if you got play here, you just undo it, the lock nut here, give it a little turn, lock it down again, you're good for another 15, 20 years. Sort of like the old solid lifters and the old 327 Corvette motors. You just go click, 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 click. When it stops clicking, you clamp it down and you're good for another 50,000 miles. So anyhow, there it is. Beautiful engraving, beautiful lacquer, nice original, not messed with at all. The only thing, they're one of the few companies that actually lacquered over the silver plating. So this neck was lacquered over the silver plating, but it starts to look ugly because the lacquer yellows and it starts coming off. So this has been de-lacquered and it's just polished silver, which I think looks much better than the ugly lacquer on there. The really nice underslung style octave. Everybody goes, oh, Yanagisawa, started that. No, this is way back. So there it is. Kill any Mark 6 out there, or most of them. Maybe you can find a 5-digit that's a screamer, but who knows. But this thing is a really remarkable saxophone. So anyhow, www.stevegraysaxes, STVEGRAY, saxes.com. A bunch of detailed pictures on the webpage going up tonight. And we'll see if we can find this thing a nice home. Cheaper than a Mark 6 too. Anyhow, there we go. And again, serial number 297 and change.